I see we have some visitors.
From beyond.
Did the comet drop them off? Is that what happened? Everybody wants to
Definitely.
know.
Definitely. You can see the authenticity displayed on our walls.
The comet, that's why we were out at the ranch. We were waiting at the Alien Landing Center, aka the ALC.
Yeah, hundreds of these things just descended. They're deflated balloons. Everybody thinks there's aliens. It's actually just movie props. The riddle is solved. So, yeah, we hung up a couple just for good measure. Thanks, Victor.
Thanks, Victor.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is still plugging away on the doors on this Cadillac. I'll show you what's going on. So what's going on in here is just a lot of loose ends. You know, you got some Cadillac, you got some sheet metal. I mean, just a lot of business, but structurally it's there. We just don't want to see this big cavity, so I'm going to cap this right through here. Close that off, sort of like so. Little trim is needed right through here, I believe. So you just weld that in, but that's not very exciting. What I want to talk about is how we're going to finish the top of this door. See, I got a little more welding done here and on the door. Everything is looking groovy, the gap, etc. The door's going to shut right there, but this is going to be the door top, so we got to attach and finish this off. So I was thinking with this, we're going to want the door to roll right down into there. So I think the door is going to probably end somewhere like that. So that's like that. And then from here, you don't have the ability to put it in the shrinker anymore. So I'm just going to slice, 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 slice. And then see this? We'll just push right into that.
So when you sliced it, it made it more malleable?
Check it out. See how it's folding over like a lobster tail?
Uh-huh.
See, it's posable.
Ah.
So we can just tack weld that together later once we decide if that's the 100% end result.
Okay. Neat.
Yeah. Let's see how that door is going to come in. Sort of like that. Cool. I like it. So let's get a piece of tube and we'll finish off this top first. Because we want a nice flowing line from the hood up to here. You could do that with a smaller round rod. You can see the height is not that too far off. You finish that right to there. Set that in. A rough guesstimator. And yeah, we're going to need a piece of tube. Just set that in place. Yes, that's pretty much what we want. Right there. Alright. Put a little piece of sheet metal there just to hold it. And we'll weld that one. See, that door top's going to come right through. Now we've got an interesting predicament. This tube is relatively straight, but then the door is a bow.
Oh.
And we want it to be a nice radius top. You don't need any of this detail. I'm going to leave all this in here because that's just strength. That's like an internal structure at this point. So let's grab a piece of steel and just going to put it on the sheet metal brake and just bend it a little bit by hand. Not a hard broke line, just by a little soft bend. We want it 41 by roughly 5. But let's cut that at 41, and then we'll cut it to 5 later. Alright, so I'm going to put this in the sheet metal brake, but just to hold it, I'll show you why. I don't want it to be a hard 90-degree bend, like using the tool. So I'm just going to give it a little love. See how that looks on the door. It's probably a little bit more. Let's see, it's just a nice curve like a door top would look like. Looks like it's going to need more, but let's test it. I'm looking to achieve something like this. Actually, let's just use that as the gauge. We're going to have to pull it a lot more. It looks perfect.
All on the fly, baby.
Yeah. It looks good in the Zephyr. It's going to look good on the Cadillac. So that was a lot more bend. Yeah, even just, let's look at it on the Cadillac now. Yeah, that actually works. But it's got to be a lot more curved through here. So let's put that on the slip roller, see if we can't get a little action on there. Hopefully the slip roller is big enough.
Ian got a new mop.
You got to see this thing in action. You thought this was effective? Wait till you see me coming down the lane with 6 feet, 72 inches of cleaning power.
Wow.
Look at all that. Some will say it's not the size of the mop, but how you use it. I disagree. Size matters. I got this slip roller. I'm going to tune it up a little bit.
I don't know if I've ever seen you use this.
It was always in the corner full of bird poop.
Ah. We gotta say, you guys, this new shop is giving us life.
Yeah.
There's a major windstorm happening in Mojave today.
You never know.
All you can hear is the, whatchamacallit. But it's pretty brutal out there.
I mean, if nothing less, it's a great endorsement for Woodward tools because you could just abuse them. You could totally neglect them. You could let animals defecate all over them. They still work awesome.
They still work.
There's that. Put it in La Machine and see what it does. There's a series of 3 rollers if you're not familiar with this. As you mentioned, you weren't.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, so you got this roller is fixed, it doesn't move. This one can move to release the piece if you were to create a full tube. And then this one moves in towards those two. Sort of like our big ring roller against the wall. So you can adjust this to make your sheet. You can adjust this to make your piece of sheet tighter or looser in the bend.
We're 12 years old. So like technically you could make a pipe with that because it makes the...
I'd more call it a tube than a pipe. Or
Oh, a tube, yeah. Gotcha.
that's technical. Could you make a cylindrical piece of sheet?
There you go.
Definitely. Crank it just a little more. Run it once more. For old time's sake. Yeah. So this is cool because now I'll be able to put this in the sheet metal brake and create this for the other door. We're only going to need about half of that. See? That works great. By the time it hits this welded area, you got a nice radius coming up. That's the door top. So let's put this side in the brake and create that. Yeah, we got a pretty tidy representation of that bend, of that Zephyr bend. So we'll do the same.
Everyone liked the pictures of our Comet
It's pretty dramatic.
in the dashboard video. If you've not seen it, you guys check it out.
Pretty extraterrestrial. Every night as we stare, gazing into the stars, it's almost as if I'm seeing Venus herself every night.
True.
It's quite the sight for a mere mortal. You dig it?
Neat.
Definitely gonna pull that one up. I can see it already. Oh yeah. All right, we're good to go. Yep. Nothing fancy. We're just splitting it in half because we're gonna adjust.
Because one's going to go on this side and the other's going to go on the other side?
Correct.
Look at you.
Always using my noodle.
Ian's getting his groove back.
Let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away with those statements. Awkward is my middle name. When it's cool and it's not happy with that right there, the weld's shrunk in a little bit. That's following that door. So, I have to take this, try that. I think I'm using a thicker metal today. So see how that end out there is sticking out?
Uh-huh.
That's what I was addressing. My opening statements alluded to what we're going to run into. Got any ideas on how to make that work?
You know, I was actually thinking about it. And I feel like hammer and a dolly?
Close. I'll give you...
Like you need something that has the same curve to bend it around.
Or a tool that might start with the letter...
The shrinker?
Stretcher.
Stretcher.
Actually, no, shrinker, because we want to pull it in. We want to shrink it that way. If we're stretching it, we go the other. So you are correct. I like it. So we're going to have to start to shrink. Start to shrink about halfway and go that way. Very little. But I bet it's not as easy as it seems. You know what I predict?
What do you predict? What is future?
We can only shrink here on the very edge. Ideally, we might want to stretch it through here to create this to kind of bow in. But maybe we could shrink that. Maybe we could shrink both ends. This is such a wide panel, you're going to see it'll probably create a kink, but we might be able to dolly that out. Let's explore. You like that?
I know, I was wondering what you were doing.
Always thinking this guy.
This new shop looks good on you.
Thanks. I've been soaking in it. Come on. So see, you don't want it to get all the way in there because it'll flatten it. Well, that did something. I just felt it. Yeah. Whoa. It over shrunk it. That is incredible. 2 little pinches. Look how much it rose.
Oh, wow.
Need about half that. The old soft shoe. Right to place. Bada bing. Now this is a little weird here. But then again, most things in this shop are a little weird. But that's going to join. We're looking. See I want to keep it on the scars. Basically, kind of on that line. We're coming through like this. Just chop that off. Yeah, I'm feeling that. And then this, yeah, see, this is up here. To here. So we're somewhere in here, coming down to there. So yeah, let me shoot that line, cut that back. Yeah, we're getting close. I like that. I think I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a little bit more of a bend in here because it's hitting the sheet metal that exists right there. So I'll put this in the brake and put a little bit of a twist up on that. Cool, I like it. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack weld this bottom right on prior join. I'm just going to lay it in with clamps. I'm going to start down here because that's where the pronounced curve in the door is. So I'm going to pin it right here and then move towards the rear and then button in the front and back. It's going to work. Looks good right there. That's cool back there. So again, I'm lining this whole thing up, starting off on one spot weld right at the intersection. Those two angles. Cool. Super cool. Just grab that with my hand. Get my little wooden paddle whacker. That tool has been lost in the move, so in lieu of using the right thing.
The paddle thingy?
Yeah, it's like a big wooden whacker thing. So if you don't have one of those, use that. Did I give everybody that advice to never move? Never try to do anything better for yourself in life? It's going to be so much easier. Just hang out and watch YouTube. That works almost perfectly, doesn't it? My big lumper. Put a trim on that, but it's kind of where we want the gap. And I'm going to pin this, and then I'll come back and trim that out for the end result. Probably going to be some lead in there, so I was getting a little interference. Yeah, I hear it. I have to get in there and clean that out. Yeah, so some round rod to finish that off. Back here, we are real close, so I'm gonna have to cut through this tube to relieve the door, let it open. But first I want to put the door inside on, because this is strong, but I want it stronger. There's a lot of stress in there before I cut it free. I was just looking at this, I realized I had this little bend on it, so that's gonna make it super strong. So I'm gonna utilize that. I'm gonna come in at 3.
Is this one of the pieces of metal you got at the Remnants?
No, this was the chimney for the bubble top.
Oh.
I mean the bubble, yeah, the bubble on the roof of the trike. That's cool. This is going to end right here. It's going to go out to here, roughly. Then, cut this back here. One thing that's worth mentioning is a conversation I had with Victor. For the look of it, you know, he may have window here, we're not sure, but he was talking about maybe some kind of an insert of just a representation of a side window that wouldn't roll up or down. So you can see in leaving this on top, I'm not joining the 2 pieces of sheet metal, so you can cut a channel in and insert something. I didn't even think to describe that, but you know, he was saying maybe just coming down and dyeing about 2/3 in. So the bottom of the tube will be intact, but it'll be a shape like that you could drop a window or just a little representation of that into. If he doesn't do that, it's going to be easy enough to just put some filler over it. By the time this is welded and ground, it'll be real close. All right, a couple more tacks through the bottom here. Now will it open? I can see where the saw's got to go. Now we find out if I welded it shut.
It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Ta-da!
We took that big, fussy, loose-ended door, set it back.
That's cool.
Oh, you have to trim this gap a little bit. Yeah, it really helps the line of this too.
Yeah.
Somebody said, oh, the back fenders of the car were way too high, way out of proportion. But that's because the doors were so low.
Right.
He wasn't seeing what we were thinking. So that's our story, and we're sticking to it. Come on back next time. We'll get into some more trouble. Slowly pick our way out of it.
We're having fun.